In this world, nothing is perfect, but acknowledging that there are things that can be done very quickly for the AFL to become a much improved product is something that I think can be done. So instead of just sitting around bitching about problems, let's get to solutions. So I've come up with 4 ways the AFL could tomorrow help fix this great game. Now, these aren't systems that have come out of nowhere. These are tinkering with current systems that just need a little bit of improvement, and it would exponentially improve this great game. This could genuinely be like a 5-part series, but I've identified 4 areas with quickfire solutions that could be implemented as soon as now or even the start of 2024, and it would carry us for years to come. Let's talk about them. And just before we start, guys, the coverage of the draft has been amazing. You guys have been amazing towards the channel with the amount of draft content that is coming. But considering the draft is not too long away, and between sort of December and March, well, footy is not readily available to us, neither is the draft. I really hope that you guys can stick around and still consume the content here. Fingers crossed you guys are enjoying all of the content. Hopefully it's not just the draft content, even though you've been incredible with that. So make sure you're liking the videos, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're sharing with a footy-loving mate, and we can continually grow the community over the dead off-season for the AFL. But it won't be a dead off-season for Daz Talks Footy, guys. That's why you got to get involved now. So please do that. That would be amazing. But let's get into it. And let's start with fixture fixes, because round 0 is the stupidest idea, or the most stupid if you want to go down that path, that I have ever heard. Why not make the first game of the year in the northern states? Why? Why are we doing this? Oh, it's so dumb. Just start the year in the northern states. What's the big deal? If you want more people there, why is it standalone? Why can't you do Brisbane Collingwood at the Gabba to kick the season off? They'd sell out the Gabba. Why wouldn't you do Sydney and Sydney GWS even, to start that rivalry in round 1? That just one on the Thursday, one on the Friday. And then have the Saturday games start. Who gives a shit if it's not Richmond Carlton? What? But in terms of the actual fixture itself, so you play every team once, that's 17 games, and then you've got 6 to go. So wouldn't it make more sense if you divided the last year's ladder from 1 to 6, 7 to 12, 13 to 18? Everyone in that group play each other twice. Right? So you've played each other once. That's 17 games. The team that finished on top of the ladder would play 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th a second time. That's 22 games. That would actually just stop it right there. Not only do you give the teams down the bottom of the ladder, a chance to climb, it really does semi-punish teams that finish from 7th to 12th and in no man's land, because you've either got to get better on the fly because you're going to be playing teams that are around you, even with the ladder changes you see from year to year. But if you're off, you're really off. But the 22, that would fix it instantly. What do you do with the 23rd game? Could you do a rivalry round? Some teams are going to play each other 3 times, which might be seen as a little bit strange, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But the 23rd game for mine is complete crap. Just play each other once, 17. Play everyone in your 6 quadrant, or 6 trident, if you will, because there's only 3. Is 22 games. And then, I don't know, gather round, pull teams out of a hat if you want to. But the 23rd game's dumb. Just have the gather round as one of the 22 games. And just have it like that. Too simple? Too easy? I don't know. But it makes sense. Because why do we have teams that get easier fixtures but finishing in the top 6? It makes no sense. 30-second score review. Easy, simple. This will take ironically, maybe 30 seconds of explanation. If you go to a score review, all the score review is to check if the goal umpire has made a mistake. People think that we're checking to see if it's a goal or behind. We're not. We're checking to see if the goal umpire is stuffed up. We still need to trust our umpires. And if you can't make a decision in 30 seconds, umpire's call. Simple. We might still get some howlers. Who gives a shit? Asking for perfection is going to lead to mistakes anyway. So if we are going to have a score review system that apparently is a crock of shit anyway, you get 30 seconds. If you can't figure out that you've made a ridiculous blunder in 30 seconds, Keep the game moving. Keep the game moving. You got 30 seconds to figure it out. If you can't, the umpire hasn't made that big of a mistake. Get the game rolling. Punish all skill errors. What do I mean by this? So let's think of like a deliberate out of bounds or insufficient intent, right? Which is a skill error. 90% of the time is a skill error. You've hurried the ball out of the pack towards the boundary, goes out of bounds. That's a skill error. You get punished for it. Kick the ball out of bounds on the full. That's a skill error. You get punished for it. But for some reason, if you're tackled and you attempt to handball or kick the footy, you don't get punished. That's a skill error. You didn't handball or kick the footy. I would much rather see 40 holding the ball decisions get paid in a game of footy than I would, yeah, he tried and then we get another 5-10 seconds of nothing and then a ball up. It just doesn't work that way. And you might be thinking I'm hanging it on the umpires here. I'm not. I'm really not. Not only could I never umpire a game of footy, and that's not what I'm judging here, but the AFL, whoever is writing these rules, are simply trying to make the game open to interpretation. That can't be how it works. Sorry to sound American, guys, or like an American sports fan, but a lot of rules are very linear. And in the AFL, we have a lot of rules that are not linear. What do I mean by that? Out on the full, very linear. Was it over the line on the full? It's a free kick. Whereas holding the ball is the most interpretive rule in world sport. And it's one of the worst ones. It's inconsistent. It's crap. It's umpired differently depending on what stage of the game we're in. And I don't understand how every skill error, bar kicking a football, is punished. So whoever's writing the rules, let's fix that up real smart. All right? And actually give our umpires a chance. And last but not least, draft equality. If we're going to keep the pureness and the equalization of the draft, having 28 picks in the first round, which is what this round could be if Caden Cleary is bid on in the 20s, is nonsense. So, how do you fix it? Father-son, NGA, gone. Free agency compensation. Out. Easy. Done. Sorted. No problem at all. Now, some of you might be thinking, that's a little extreme. And that's okay if you're thinking that. What can we do to kind of get to a middle ground here? Well, maybe we can keep it if it's beyond the first round. But the first 18 picks need to be the 18 picks. Now, if you're going to trade picks, no problem with that at all. That's still draft equality because multiple clubs have to agree to it. But a club doesn't have an influence over what club gets what compensation. And you might think that I'm picking on a certain club here for getting free agency compo. I'm really not. I've been big on this for a long time. But the fact that the first round of our draft is just going to be thrown around to the Wolves is nonsense to me. Absolutely nonsense. How the number one pick in the draft cannot go to the worst team in the competition is crap. Simply crap. And the father-son thing, if this came in, would bite my team in the ass. I'm a Hawthorn fan. We would miss out on Will McCabe, which would suck. But the draft would stay intact. So if we get outside of the first round and we still want to have these things, I understand that. Do we want free agency compo to be end of the first, start of the second? Maybe I can live with that. But the top 10, the top 12, the top 15 being affected this much? No, it's a fallacy. It's a genuine fallacy. It's crap and it needs to change. Not a massive fan of it at all. If you've got an NGA Academy prospect that does get drafted, maybe you can get some financial incentive for your soft cap maybe, because having these kids in your academy and then not having access to them, I understand could be a little bit of a shit thing. But it's worse now. The NGA is not too bad considering it's outside of the top 40, so maybe that can stick around, but yeah, these concessions and this free agency compo and even father-son a little bit is just, it's crap, in my opinion. The draft should be equal. If we want teams to rise up the ladder consistently, then we've got to keep it, especially that first round, as equal as we can. Just my opinion. What do you guys think? Comment below, let me know. What little fixes could you make that would exponentially improve the AFL? Do you want a part 2 to this video? Comment below, let me know. I love interacting with you guys. I'll see you very soon, Sunday, November 12th. Draft Q&A, live stream coming, and maybe a video before then. Maybe so. Take it easy, guys. Hope you're having a fantastic week. If you got on the Melbourne Cup, fingers crossed you got on to the winner. And I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.